Hi guys, in this video we are gonna keep on working on our listing. Let's just jump right into it. So we've already discussed the listing details and went through that section. The next is pricing and availability. Uh, but today we are not gonna talk about pricing and availability. This is part of the pricing strategy. So we are gonna have an entire module on pricing strategy where we're gonna talk about pricing and availability section. We are gonna talk about beyond pricing, our automated pricing software that we are using. And we are going to talk about multi-calendar, the rule sets in the multi-calendar. And in general, we are going to talk about in details about our pricing strategies and how we price our properties so that we run at 90 plus occupancy, even in the low season. So that is coming up. But in today's video, we are going to talk about policy and rules and info for guests. This is two sections that are still remaining from your listing. So I will show you how do I fill those sections out. Basically, all the information that we already need is already in the Excel file that we've already worked on, and you should have already have that Excel file ready to go. So most of it will be just copying and pasting, but there's few things that I want to bring your attention to, so we'll get into that here shortly. So when you go to the pricing and rules section, actually let's first look at our listing of how far we have progressed. So this is currently our listing. I still need to upload the pictures and update the pictures, but I will do that later. But regardless, we have our description, we have our where to sleep section organized more or less. We have our amenities section, we have our calendar here. We don't have reviews yet, but we have neighborhood description and getting around. So this is the part that we did in the listing details. So down here, there is a more information available to the guests. So you can see the uh, host description. So this is basically a section to speak about the host. And in this section, we are also highlighting the fact that if they have any questions, should let us know. This is a good real estate because you do this once on your host profile in your Airbnb, and then you have this information available on the front end of all of your listings. So it's also another good place to tell your guests to let you know if something is wrong, if they have any problems. Uh, Stay super positive in this message. But if you look at our other listings, for example, that is complete, there is a couple more sections here. There is during your stay section. This is a section where you communicate to the guests what should their expectations be during their stay and also what do you expect from them. We've already done this inside the Excel instruction file, so we're going to be copying it so that it shows up on the front end of our listing. So this is a good real estate as well. So use this space wisely for your listings. Make sure you don't leave it blank. And then here you also have additional house rules with emojis and stuff. So we will do this as well. So let's go back to our listing. First thing is cancellation policy. It defaults to flexible. You almost never want to do the flexible unless you're super new. You don't want to carry that much risk. Usually the best one is firm for us. You can try strict, but chances are that firm gives you enough time that mm, you will get booked in case of the cancellation. When people cancel on you, Airbnb gives you a boost. So you show up in the listing rankings higher so that they don't want you to feel bad about the cancellation. So they will give you a little bit of push, which is usually enough for you to get booked right away after a cancellation. Also, this way, if people get like half a refund, you might get a new booking. So you effectively get 150% rent for a specific period. So this is the best approach. If you do strict, chances are that people will not cancel. The difference is that for the strict, when they cancel, they get their booking fee and cleaning fee back, but they might not be enough for them to cancel, because if they get half off, the chances are that they will cancel and free up your calendar. So you might get more return. In strict, you can only get 100%. In firm, in my mind, you can get 150%. This is what works for us, but decide for yourself. You can carefully read the descriptions and see what's the best suited for you. On long-term stays, you can do strict, so that's fine. Okay, instant book. We always want to have instant book on. That's how we run over all of our properties. And then the only thing that we check here is good track record. ID verification, lots of people don't use it. You also don't need it. People can be booking for different, their parents or something like that. So, and pre-booking message, this is where you would put your pre-booking message, but we also don't use it usually. But this is the place where you put your pre-booking message if you want to utilize that as well. You can start by having it turned off, but over the time, if you want to be successful Airbnb host, you should probably have your instant book enabled, and pay only attention to the good tracker record and make sure the guests have a good reviews. And after a while, you will know how to screen out good and bad guests with more certainty, because you will know what are the demographics of people coming to your area, what are specifics, who should you try to avoid, what type of guests are the best guests, and so on and so forth. We don't allow any pets. We've already mentioned it. Events are not allowed. Smoking not allowed. Commercial photography and filming allowed. Yeah, so we don't allow commercial photography and filming. This is in most cases just adult photography, so we don't allow that in our listings. Next section is quiet hours. We would set that to 11 p.m. You can set it to whatever is applicable to your listing. Check-in is after 3 p.m. Checkout time is noon for us. We have a pretty well dialed in cleaning crew, so 3 hours is usually enough for them to clean one small apartment. But if they need more time, we'll change this check-in and check-out window to give them more time. For now, we'll do 12 to 3. But this apartment is a little bit larger, so they might need a little bit more, so we'll do that as well. Maybe I should do 3:30. There is no 3:30. Okay, never mind. Number of guests we've already set. Additional rules. This section again comes from our apartment description file. We've already worked on this, so it's just a matter of copying and pasting. Oh, we can see that emojis are actually allowed in this section, which is nice. Profile photo required. We don't require this, but you can require it if you want. But people can upload any type of photo, so it really makes no difference. And then primary use of listing is set for the space is set for guests. Okay. Next section is info for guests. In here, we've already set up check-in and check-out time. If you have a guidebook, this section is where you assign the guidebook to the specific listing. So people booking this place will have access to your certain guidebooks. Interaction with guests. So this is the part that shows on the front end of the listing at the very bottom. So we want to fill this out carefully. We've already done this inside our file, so I'm just going to be copying it from our listing description file. So in this section, the emojis are not allowed here, but these are so-called word emojis, the emojis that are allowed in a Word file. they might be allowed. So we'll just do that. Let me just do different types. Next is address, and then we have directions. They don't support multiple languages for directions, so we want to put two of the languages in the same section. And then we have a house manual. We've already also done this. Okay, we've copied most of the information from our file. The only thing is remaining is check-in instructions. So I'm gonna fill out the check-in instructions, but you won't be able to see it for, I guess, security reasons. And the last thing is the Wi-Fi details. So you should input that here. You just give the network name and Wi-Fi password, and they can see this after the booking. All of this section is the post-booking details. They only get access to this information after their booking is complete. So now we can see what happens after we made all these changes. When I refresh the listing, you can see that the section below was empty. Now we have a during your stay section, and we also have additional house rules section. But you also have all the information necessary after the booking, which we already filled out. So with that, our listing is complete. So once I have updated photos, then it will be mostly finished. So this is great. I'll see you in the next one.